What's up, everybody? This is Daniel Garcia, the greatest technical sports entertainer to ever walk planet Earth. And you're listening to the Battleground Podcast.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. I'm your host, Battle. I'm going to bring in my tag team partner, Eli, here in a second. But there's something big going on this Wednesday night at The Shot. We are taking over Columbus, Ohio, AEW Dynamite Columbus. Going to bring in my tag team partner, Eli. What's up, buddy?
I was about to take a sip. Hello.
You never know when it's going to happen. And today we've got a special guest on the show, one guy that has made a big name for himself joining AEW, and now he's a part of the JAS, the Jericho Appreciation Society. We're going to bring him in. Daniel Garcia is our guest on the show. There he is, coming off a big victory this past Wednesday night.
Big victory.
Enormous.
Man, we sat there and talked about that on paper. And of course, everybody wants to count Daniel Garcia out when he's going up against Bryan Danielson. But I think at the end of the night, it says, and your winner is Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were surprised. I really wasn't. I think I'm a big threat at AEW. And I think a lot of people are going to realize that I'm an even bigger threat very soon.
Yeah, for sure. And let's talk about this because we're just a little removed from your pure championship match against Wheeler Yuta at Death Before Dishonor. This one had the, we like to call the internet wrestling community, the IWC. They had this split down the middle. It was very hard to pick who they wanted to win. What are your thoughts on that title match now that you've had some time to reflect on it?
It was really painful. That was the most thing I remember about the match. My neck was all hurt from getting palm striked in the neck. My back hurt from getting put in the walls of Jericho, but it was a very hard fought match. I think that we had a lot more in the tank that we could have exhausted, but I think I got a feeling, correct me if I'm wrong, I got a feeling that we'll have plenty of time and plenty of opportunities to exhaust these feelings that we have for each other over the next probably 20 years.
Yeah. I think we forget how young you guys are sometimes just because of the high level of performance we get from you guys in the ring. So this is kind of a, think about it from like you being as a little kid or something. I mean, how amazing is it to not only be involved with, but also fighting for championships in such a legendary promotion like Ring of Honor, through AEW?
It's great. Ring of Honor is the first indie promotion that a lot of people have heard of. A lot of people my age really got into. It was a lot of people's my age first experience in professional wrestling outside of WWE. It was their first alternative choice. I know it was one of my first alternative choices. I remember watching it in my mom's room, laying in her bed. When she was on vacation, I remember going in her room and watching the Ring of Honor tapes. And even when it was on like Access TV, I would watch it. So it was a pretty big deal for me. I never got to wrestle for Ring of Honor when it was its own entity. And then when Tony purchased AEW, or purchased Ring of Honor and put it into AEW, I was kind of surprised. And I was also very intrigued because it was something that I always wanted to check off my bucket list. And once I signed to AEW, I thought it wasn't something I was going to be able to do for the foreseeable future. And then when Tony bought it, I was like, ooh, maybe I can add this to the resume and check it off the bucket list.
Yeah. And of course, checking things off the bucket list again, not very many people could say that they have a victory over Bryan Danielson. So there's something you can, check off. And of course, this Wednesday night, AEW Dynamite in Columbus at the Shot. You can still grab tickets, allelitewrestling.com. And, there's no love lost between the Jericho Appreciation Society and, of course, Blackpool Combat Club. With Blood and Guts happening just a few weeks ago, would you be up to, I guess, challenging the brand new ROH World Champion Claudio to a match?
Sure. I'll wrestle anybody if the timing is right, and if Jericho thinks that the opportunity is right for me, I will wrestle anybody. And Claudio, I felt him in the ring. I felt everything he had to offer for me, and I think I'm a really good stylistic matchup against somebody like him.
Definitely, that's going to be a fun one to watch once we get that one.
Yeah, we talked to him this weekend, and first off, he's way bigger in person. Like when you're standing beside him, you're like, oh wow, he is like Swiss Superman, yeah. But I think you two styles will definitely mesh well in like a one-on-one. So, speaking of, I think we've already kind of mentioned it here a couple times. We witnessed a highly anticipated match last week on Dynamite. One your opponent, actually, Bryan Danielson, was also looking for. You were on his short list of people he was kind of eager to get in the ring with. Squared off against Bryan Danielson. At the end, your hand was raised in victory. Did that match live up to your expectations? And what do you say to those who assumed Danielson was kind of the shoe-in for the victory on that match?
Yeah, I think any time that you get a win, it should live up to your expectations. He came out hot. He came out fiery, but I knew that because he was coming off an injury, that he was going to exhaust himself very quick. I knew if he just
ran out of gas, right?
He ran out of gas. He moved too quickly. Maybe he came back from injury a little bit too soon. If I had to guess, I think he came back just a hair bit too soon to be.
You're not a doctor, but
no, I'm not a doctor. Don't take my medical expertise. I'm like WebMD. But somebody like him, I know he loves wrestling. It's all he wants to do. He cares about his wife, kids, the planet, and wrestling. Those are the only things that he cares about. So I knew that once he had the opportunity to come back in the ring, that he was going to take that opportunity. He wasn't going to hesitate. And maybe if he was going against somebody a little less dangerous, a little less nasty, a little less gritty, it would have worked out a little bit better for him. But he was in the ring against somebody who does not care about others' well-being, somebody who will do whatever it takes to win, and that's me. And I think he came back a little bit too soon. He hesitated, and I took advantage of that. I exploited every opening that he gave me, and I don't care if I have to be dirty. I don't care if I have to exploit an injury. I will do it. I'll do whatever it takes to get the win. And that's what Jericho taught me to do. Jericho taught me, do not hesitate, capitalize in situations. And that's exactly what I did.
When I hear you talk like that, I kind of get I get flashes of like Kobe Bryant and that kind of Mamba mentality of just like, there's an opening, take it, and do what you got to do to win. And it's kind of like, do you kind of think of yourself in that kind of MVP kind of role? Like,
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to AEW, I've been the MVP over the past year since I got here. It's about to be my year-long anniversary at AEW. I've had the most televised main events over the past year.
That's true.
Every opportunity that they've given me, I have knocked it out of the park. Right when I got to AEW, people are like, oh, who's Daniel Garcia? Why is he getting so many main events? Once a main event happened, the next one happened, and you saw how high of a level I was performing at. Everybody knew why I was getting put in those situations. Mm-hmm. Tony can see talent, and Tony can pick out talent. And he was able to see my talent very early on. And other people are just starting to catch up to what Tony was seeing right now.
That's probably the best way to say it. Yep.
Exactly. I mean, there's nothing really to follow up on that one because you said everything, nailed it on the head. But it's fun to watch, Jericho Appreciation Society going at the Blackpool Combat Club. Like you could just see both crews mesh very well together when they're in the ring. And what are the key advantages Jericho Appreciation Society has over the Blackpool Combat Club? I mean, specifically, how are you guys still going toe in toe with them?
I think the biggest advantage that we have is we have the greatest of all time on our team. We have Chris Jericho, somebody who is able to adapt and reinvent himself and change to every different aspect of the business over the past 20-something years. And on top of that, we have me, the greatest wrestler, greatest sports entertainer, under 25 on the planet. We have Matt Menard and Angelo Parker, the best tag team in the world right now. Mm-hmm. And then we have Sammy Guevara, who is insane. He will do whatever it takes to get a highlight reel or to capitalize on any situation. Now we got Ty and Anna Jay too, which adds a completely different layer to our team. Mm-hmm. And the thing that brings us all together and that makes us the most dangerous is our loyalty to each other. We are loyal to Chris Jericho for so many reasons. They got Matt and Angelo a job at AEW. He donated to my GoFundMe after I was in a car accident. We have an undying loyalty to Chris Jericho, and that's something that will never end.
Yeah. Great answer. Yeah. I think Anna Jane getting into the mix is going to be, we actually interviewed her a couple years ago, but it kind of seemed like she kind of had lost some direction there, like once Ty kind of lined really hard with Sammy. She kind of was just there. She did fight Jade. I guess she did have a title shot against Jade, but now
She was good with the dark.
it was, yeah.
She
But
was
you're
good in
kind
the Dark Order.
yeah, but you kind of see now just in the 2 weeks since she's kind of been accepted into JS, like that, she's kind of got that kind of like that mean streak we hadn't seen before.
A lot of people sleep on Anna Jay. Anna Jay is very talented, and she's a dog. Anna Jay is a dog.
It's easy to look over. Obviously, she's beautiful, and I think a lot of people kind of like look past, kind of like, okay, I get it. But then like, even Ty really, you just look at her as a striking woman, and then you're like, oh, wow, she's got like martial art experience, and, like, wow, she really can kick ass, So I think if we do see a AEW women's tag team titles, I think that's an obvious team you want to look at. For sure, yeah. This one's this is a general wrestling question, and it's not really trying to get dirt or, stir the pot or anything, but you've mentioned Triple H previously. You had a little bit of a time in NXT, and I think that the hat you wear is maybe a little bit of a tribute to him in a sense. Do you have any opinion of, thoughts about him becoming head of creative over at the other place?
Yeah, my time in NXT was maybe a day. But,
yeah, it's a very short window there. Yeah.
Triple H, I'm a huge fan of. I think he's one of the greatest ever. He was one of my favorites when I was a kid. He's offered us so many great memories that are kind of like my first memories in wrestling, like the thumbs up, thumbs down. Like that kind of stuff is the first stuff that I remember watching when I was a kid, and that really made me and my family really strong wrestling fans in that era. I mean, it was hard not to watch Triple H during that time. He was plastered all over the WWE product. And he was the franchise player. And I think it's great that he's taken over. I mean, I don't know what their plans are over there, but I think it's great. I think it's going to give a lot of independent wrestlers great opportunities in professional wrestling at a very high level, and I think that's good for everybody. More valid places for wrestlers to work is going to create a lot more opportunities for everybody around, and it's going to create a lot more competition. And I think healthy competition, maybe even some unhealthy competition, is good for everybody.
And definitely. And you look at it, at the end of the day, the people that win, not only are the wrestlers that win, but the fans win, because I mean, everybody's going to try to, step up and one up this other person, and then you're just going to get even more better product than we're already getting right now. And as a wrestling fan, having wrestling on pretty much every day of the week, it's exciting.
It's exciting, very exciting. If I was a 12, 13-year-old during this time, I would be losing my mind at the amount of wrestling that I would be able to consume.
Oh, for sure. We're here in Nashville, and we just had Ric Flair's final match, and they SummerSlam. It's kind of weird to say SummerSlam second, but I mean, there was a Black Label Pro show Friday, there was a GCW show Friday, New Japan show Saturday, SummerSlam Saturday, Ric Flair's last match last night. I mean, that just so much stuff going on, and we had main event of the Ric Flair match, two AEW talent, Jay Lethal and Andrade. So I mean, there's just so much going on right now with wrestling. I mean,
we're in the pro wrestling multiverse right now.
It really is. Yeah. It really is
fantastic. And I love the fact that me and Eli have had this conversation. My 5-year-old is getting into wrestling now. So like, he is like, his big thing is he's figured out who's the good guys and who's the bad guys. Mm-hmm. And we'll watch AEW on Wednesday nights. And when you guys come out, he does this thumbs up at the TV. But then when Moxley and all them comes out, he does this with double thumbs down. So he knows.
Kid.
It is a smart.
He's very smart.
Yeah.
He knows who. He knows who to cheer for.
Yeah. I think sure. It's your question.
Yeah. So is there someone on the AEW roster that you have worked with that has like really just blown you away in the ring?
Ooh. It wasn't an AEW match, but the first person that comes to mind is when I wrestled Konosuke Takeshita at the last PWG show. Oof. I really think he's the best I've ever been in the ring with. And that's kind of crazy to say when you look at the people I've been in the ring with: CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho. And Takeshita he just felt different. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to explain it. He felt like a superhero. And I think he's so young still. I think he's like 27, 28. Yeah. So I think he's going to take over the world.
Yeah.
He's gonna take over the world in professional wrestling.
I think Tony kind of had what he saw in you. I think he sees in him, and just every every week you're just like, holy crap. He's diamond in the rough there, man. He's
He's
stellar.
he's so explosive, so athletic, and so
Mhm.
likable. Like people want to cheer for him.
Yeah,
People see him and immediately want to root for him. And I think all of those things is like the perfect combination to be a professional wrestler.
absolutely.
Mhm.
So this may be like a no-brainer, but do you think we can expect to see yourself, Daddy Magic and Cool Hand representing Jericho Appreciation Society and going after the newly announced AEW Trio Tag Team belts?
Yeah, I think that's definitely an option that might be on the table for us. We are a team that nobody expected to even be a team. I don't think that was something that ever crossed people's mind, putting us three together. And then a year ago, we got put together and we just kind of meshed and we rolled with it. We have had a bunch of high-level trios matches together. Our first one was against Eddie Kingston, Darby, and John Moxley. So we have a lot of high-level experience when it comes to that. And yeah, we're definitely looking at those trios titles. The good thing about the JS is we have so many people that could be in a different combination to be in this trios match.
100%.
Maybe it's me, Chris, and Hager. Maybe it's Hager, Matt, and Chris. Maybe it's Jeff, Matt, and me. There's so many different options you could go.
Yeah. And hopefully it'll be free word rules so you guys can do whatever. But I mean, I liked you guys as trio even before you guys got involved with Jericho. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I like calling them their new nicknames, Daddy Magic and Cool Hand. I mean, they're so like, and they had experience obviously in previously NXT and a lot of the indie stuff. So I think for a lot of people, this is just their Japan. Yeah, this is their first kind of experience, kind of like you too, I guess, like, first kind of wide, big wide audience with that. But you guys, I kind of felt like it almost reminded me of like DX vibes a little bit. And I don't mean like in the attitude, like all that stuff, but just the cohesiveness and then kind of the meanness, and so I was a big fan of just you guys by yourself, and now surrounding yourself with that, it's just like, how can it make it even more dangerous, so
Yeah,
it's been crazy to watch JS kind of really meld and cause havoc.
yeah. I saw something the other day online, and it said 2.0 Matt and Angelo. They weren't the biggest signing in AEW history. Like they're not Bryan, they're not Punk, but they were the best signing in AEW history. If you look at where they were in NXT to what they're doing now, it might be the greatest steal in the history of this business.
I think that
it might be the greatest steal ever. It's like signing, like it would be like signing Trae Young to Mac, like finding him in the G League and signing him to a rookie deal. Like that's what that would be like.
Yeah. I think like even Ty too, to be honest, I don't think she was really utilized very well in NXT, and she looks like a superstar over here now.
She's a superstar. She's a superstar.
Can you talk for a second about I call it the big week you had last year where you fought like Punk, was it Suzuki was it that week? And then you had like 5 legends or something in like a week period. I mean, was that just validation? Like, okay, I this is what I'm supposed to be doing, or was it just a coincidence? Like, what do you think about when you look back on like those big weeks like that?
Something that I always felt like was my strength in indie wrestling was being able to stack things.
Yeah.
Where I think wrestling is all about momentum and it's about energy. It's not about what you do. It's about how you're able to build off of what you do. So somebody could have a great match, but there's so much wrestling going on that people forget about that great match in a week because there's so many great matches happening.
Yep.
So that week, it was basically what I was doing on the indies. I would make a bunch of big matches in a short time span so people could remember it as not just a match, but a moment in time. And I feel like that week was that to the highest extent. It was Thursday, I wrestled Alex Shelley.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Friday, I wrestled Minoru Suzuki in the match with CM Punk on Rampage aired. And then Sunday, I wrestled Davey Richards. And the cool thing about those matches is they're all from different eras.
Oh yeah.
Like it was almost kind of like a Mount Rushmore. It went like Suzuki, Punk,
Mm-hmm.
Shelley, Richards. Like it's all different eras and different genres of professional wrestling. And being able to wrestle that many different styles and like different styles matchups in 1 week and testing myself in different ways was a really big accomplishment for me. And I'm hoping that I gave people something to look back on forever with that week. I hope it's something that people talk about when it comes to my career for the next lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of those kind of, you look back of like Summer Punk and you have these like moments in people's career. And I think that's going to be a definite highlight for sure.
For sure. So it's crazy to think that we're already in August. This year has just flown by so fast. Not many months left in 2022. So what does the rest of 2022 look like for not only the Jericho Appreciation Society, but Daniel Garcia specifically?
Yeah, I'm just coming off the biggest win in AEW history, the biggest non-title win ever to happen in AEW. I don't care who anybody else has ever beat, what pay-per-view it was on, what special event it was on. Me beating Bryan Danielson is the biggest non-title win to ever happen in AEW.
I support
no
that.
question.
Yeah.
Like, period. Finito. Curtains. That's it. And I'm just going to keep building off that. I have a game plan with Chris Jericho. We know what's next. Me and 2.0 know what's next. Me and Hager know what's next. We know what's going to be coming. And I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. I think that we are going to make a lot of people very angry. And I think that the rest of 22 is going to be dominated by the JAS. No question.
We're excited to see what happens. I mean, the feud you guys are doing right now with Blackpool is just, there's so many variations you can do. I mean, there's so many legs with this that, you can keep going. And the thing I like about it is it's not boring. Like, it's not the same match over and over and over, whether it's blood and guts or it's a one-on-one with you and Bryan Danielson. Like, there's so many different ways this can go. So it's been killer so far, and we don't want it to end. Don't want it to end.
I don't think anything with the level of talent that we have on both sides of each group could ever be boring. I think it's impossible. It's incapable.
I agree.
Well, we don't want to take up too much of your time. So before we let you go, what is the one thing that whoever's watching this, listening to this, what is the one thing you want to leave an impression on them that's listening or watching this interview right now? What's something you want to tell everybody?
Hey, get on the train early. Get on the train early. I know I'm coming off a big win and I've been in AEW for a year, but we're still very much at the ground floor of a lot of the young sports entertainers and pro wrestlers at AEW's career, including myself. I'm 23 years old. I plan on being in this business for a very long time. I plan on being a very high-level player in this business for a very long time. So I think it's going to be cool for a lot of people to look back on when I'm retired and be like, oh man, I was watching Daniel Garcia when he was 23 years old. So get on the train early. Stop hating online. A lot of you old people, I see you hating on me. But it doesn't really get to me. I would probably hate on me too if I saw someone as young as me in my position. But I think that's the best message I could send. Get on the train early, or else you're going to regret it when I'm retired.
There it is. Daniel Garcia is our guest on the show. And where can people keep up with you online? Where do you want people to follow you at?
Yeah, I'm at Garcia Wrestling on Twitter and Instagram. And I don't have TikTok or nothing, so don't try.
Don't try.
Yeah, TikTok is. I'm still trying to figure out TikTok, but Daniel
I don't
Garcia.
have a blog either.
You don't have a blog? What about a MySpace? You got one of those? You got
no, not yet. Coming soon.
What else is there? Pinterest, Flickr,
Friendster was a big one. Yeah,
there's so many different ones. You got AOL Instant Messenger. You got a screen name for that one. Well, Daniel Garcia, it's an honor to have you on the show, my man. We're looking forward to Wednesday night at the Shot. Of course, you can still grab tickets, allelitewrestling.com. Daniel, thank you so much for taking the time out and hanging out with us today, man.
Thank you.